Hey folks, Jeremy right here. What you see behind me is a 150-gallon aquarium and a stand that's over some litter boxes, a Flugel 5X, FX5, whatever. Um, and let's see, what is that? Probably a Viva Sun, like almost called it a swamp pump, pond pump. Uh, I call them swamp pumps. But anyway, that's what I've been working on. There is some soil down in the bottom of it. I traded an established 55-gallon tank that was sort of a cosmopolitan planted low-tech tank, but it was like full of stuff, lots and lots and lots of species. It was the home of my blue and black guppy colonies. It was the home of my Ancistrus catfish. It is, I called it my mothership tank. But someone asked me to trade this for a 55, and it was the one that made the most sense. And I did want the larger tank. This one's the same length, like one side to the other. It's 4 feet long, so it's the same length as the 55-gallon tank that was in its place. It's much taller. This is 31 inches tall as opposed to like 21 or something, maybe less than that for a 55 standard display tank. I can't recall exactly how tall they are. This one's 2 feet front to back, so from back to front, it's 2 feet. That's basically like two 55-gallon tanks sitting next to each other, plus it's taller. So roughly 3 times the volume, not quite, but almost 3 times the volume of the tank that was here. I had to build a new stand for it, so this stand is rated by me somewhere well over 1,500 pounds. The floor is just tile with concrete board, hardy backer type stuff below it, and pier and beam, but no problem. It's going to hold the weight. I've already tested this. I guess I forgot to say I resealed the tank. So that involved going through, scraping all of the old silicone off. So you take razor blades, fresh razor blades, go through and scrape with a fresh blade, get under the silicone, remove all of the silicone, wipe it clean, took some blue painter's tape, taped it off, and then came back in and see if we can get a view of the new seal. So you can see what the new silicone looks like. I then filled the tank with 150 gallons of water in place on the stand. So the tank has been waterproofed, meaning proof it'll hold water, and the stand has held up to 1,500 pounds now. 150 pounds of water is really thick and heavy. So I'm going to say that was over 1,400, close to 1,500, and then on top of that I just leaned on it and stuff, was up there pushing down and going, yep, I think it'll hold. So after that, I drained the tank. I thought I'd be able to hold some of that water, but my bathtub wouldn't even hold 50. Bathtubs don't even hold 50 gallons. Who knew? So, I put water everywhere I could think of. Watered the plants, filled up different buckets, gave everybody a water change with some of the water I was pulling out of this, and getting ready to start building. So let's talk about it. I have gone around the way. Here's how I start a planted tank. I almost always do dirt under pool filter sand these days because that's just the wind combination that I know about. Gravel over the top of that's pretty cool too, but bare minimum for me it's going to be an inch of dirt, mixed soil with some pool filter sand over it, about 2 inches, inch and a half to 2 inches of that. And lots of examples I have. I'm looking at like 5, just glancing across the room, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tanks or so. Inside here there are over 30 tanks. I have A through Z lettered, and then there are lots that aren't lettered, and then lots of buckets and stuff like these things and these things, and they just don't have any letters that go with them. But lots and lots of systems here. The ones that I've found that work the best for overall health and stability: dirt, under some sand, under some water, then tons of plants. And the reason for that is because aquariums, nobody really talks about this, but this is the big thing. Aquariums are microbiology things. That's like what the name of the game is. But we don't hear people discussing that. We hear people talking about things like the nitrogen cycle, but guess what? It's not a nitrogen cycle. That's naive. Pretending that it starts over here and it goes in a loop and then comes back around. That's like the 4-year-old preschool version of what's really happening. That's a super dramatically simplified model of what's real. In reality, it's a nitrogen tree, and it can go lots of places, and it doesn't necessarily come back. Probably never comes back to where it started. Might, probably not. It starts, and then it can take lots of different paths, lots and lots, because there are lots of different organisms that should be doing things. There should be a lot of biodiversity in a planted tank. You're trying to establish an ecosystem. An artificial ecosystem works best with biodiversity, with creatures that can do different things, help each other out, and we're going to start seeing that in this thing. So probably tomorrow I'll go buy a couple of bags of pool filter sand. That shouldn't be too expensive. That's one of the only expenses I'll actually have to break into the bank for in this build. The soil, I should have told you, I just walk outside. I have a lot of potted plants. I generally don't use vermiculite or perlite in my pot mixes. So right now it's wintertime. Some stuff just isn't alive. I just walked outside and I grabbed like 5 pots that were just full of good soil but didn't have a plant living in them right now. And I literally just dumped them in the bottom of the tank. That's it. Put some water. But once I got about an inch of good mixed stuff, very organic, that I know has life in it, that's the key. It's not about the nutrients really. It's about that is seeding like 1,000 species of beneficial microbiology. Like, you can't get that from a gravel tank. You just can't. We're going to start with that in this started tank. So that's what this stuff is about. It's a big tank. It's got a little bit of water in it. It's got a little bit of dirt in the bottom of it. It needs sand next, at least to do what I'm trying to do. And from there, I'll start filling it with water, start getting some stuff planted out. We've got lots and lots and lots of plants from lots of different bins, from the greenhouse outside, from tubs that were sitting around here, buckets that are inside, and just sitting around my foyer and such that are waiting on this project to begin. I think it's going to be super cool. I'm excited about it, and I feel very fortunate that I really didn't have to spend anything on this project. I had to buy a 4x4 post, which I cut into 5 pieces. I had to buy 2 2x6s, which were remarkably inexpensive. And I'm going to have to buy 2 bags of sand for a 150-gallon tank. Pretty cool. So I'm lucky to have good friends and lucky to be well connected in my community, so when people are moving stuff around, they think of me. And for that, I'm very grateful. I have wonderful friends. And our community of aquatics folks here in Arkansas, central United States, is like really rocking. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will give you an update as this moves further along. Expect it's probably going to be a couple of days before I've got something to really show you, but I will show you. Thanks. Catch you soon.